Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about the working principle of gasoline engines. So let's start with this. Let's take a brief look at the engine.basic structure. There are two valves here. One of them is an intake valve, the other one is the exhaust valve. There's a spark plug between the two valves. At the bottom is a cylinder. The fire moving up and down has produced repetitive motion. The coolant circulates around the cylinder to prevent it from overheating. Fire has 3 rings. 2 of them are compression rings. The other is the oil ring. A ring at the top prevents smoke from flowing downward. The second ring prevents oil from flowing into the combustion chamber. The third ring plays a constant role in transferring oil, the effect of applying on the inner wall of the cylinder. This is the crankshaft. It takes the linear motion of the fire plug, convert to rotational motion. The connecting rod connects the fire plug to the crankshaft. Next, we will learn more about the 4-stroke cycle. He follows the intake, compression, workmanship, exhaust, a cycle in sequence. First, the intake valve opens, fire plug moves down, then a mixture of air and gasoline sucked into the cylinder. This is the intake stroke. Intake valve closed. The fire plug is raised to prevent it from further inhaling the fuel. This causes the gas mixture to be compressed at high temperatures. This is called the compression stroke, when the spark plug pairs with the compressed gas mixture when sparks are generated. It explodes. The force from the explosion caused the fire plug to drop. This is called workmanship. Then the exhaust valve opens. The fire plug rises to release the exhaust gas. This process is called the exhaust stroke. In this single cycle, the crankshaft rotates twice. He's going to do a half turn on the intake, half a turn during compression, and then half a turn when the gas explodes. Complete the last half lap after the exhaust process. At the same time, the crankshaft completes 2 rotations. Here we go. We will learn about intake and exhaust valves. How to open and close. The valve is based on the earth wheel. The earth wheel shaft converts rotational motion into linear motion. The earth wheel shaft is connected by the crankshaft informal belt. The earth wheel shaft is connected by the crankshaft informal belt. Formal chains are used more frequently. The intake valve opens during the intake stroke, valve during compression and workmanship. Keep it closed, the exhaust valve will open during the exhaust stroke. When the crankshaft rotates twice, the spinner shaft rotates only once. Intake valve and exhaust valve open separately, and close once. For the spindle, there are 2 different types. One is the exhaust spout axle, the other is an intake and outlet axle. We call this the DOHC equation. There's another approach called SOHC. It uses a single spinner shaft to control the intake and exhaust valves. This is the throttle mechanism. There's a throttle room. Can be opened by close the magnetic valve to control the amount of air inhaled by depressing the gas pedal. The valve can be opened to allow more air to enter. This will increase power and speed. The mixture passes through the intake pipe, evenly distributed to each cylinder. This is a restricted 4-cylinder engine. The 4 cylinders are arranged in a straight line. It is also known as the L4 engine. L is the first letter of a current English word. This is the cylinder of an L6 engine. This is the intake pipe where the fuel goes in. Fuel is distributed according to the steel cutting process. This is the exhaust pipe that emits exhaust gases. He collects the exhaust gases and sends them to the muffler. This is a V6 engine. Cylinders are placed in the form of the letter V. When the number of cylinders increases, the length of the engine becomes longer. This will also cause the crankshaft earth shaft to become longer. Of course, the width of the car will also increase. This is how many car companies produce the V6. The reason for the engine? By positioning the 6 cylinders. Miniature configuration. It can reduce the length of the engine and the width of the car, but the L6 engine is much quieter than the V6 engine, and it allows for smoother power transmission